Coach, San Jose is top 4 or 5 in the country with 13 interceptions this year. What are they doing defensively to force so many turnovers?
Well, I think they're getting the ones that are thrown to them. That's one thing. You know, some teams, you'll see defenses and they'll have a ball thrown to them and they drop it, right? There's an opportunity for a turnover. There's not a guy around the ball's fumbled on the ground, and somebody's over there just loafing, and they could have had a chance to pick it up. Great example, go back to that Texas Tech at the end of that game. I don't know if you guys saw the end of that game, right, where they blocked the kick, and you know, there was a poor decision made by that player, but then the Kansas State guy's right there, right? He's hustling and he's on the ball, and it ends up being the game-changing play to win the game. So, you know, those are examples of guys going hard, all right, being around the football, and I think San Jose State does that. They're around the ball, they're catching the ones that are thrown to them, and you know, I think they put teams in some tough situations too, where they've had to make some throws or some difficult throws where they've been able to cause turnovers. And you know, you got to be aware of that. They got those type of numbers. They're second in the nation in INTs. They're really good in the red zone. I mean, those are things that are standing out. Their defense is playing well. So there's the challenge. What are they doing well? Well, you look at that and you've got to find a way to go out there, and how are you going to compete against that? But pay attention to those things. I mean, you know, give guys credit where credit's due, and they're doing a good job in those areas.
What do you see in their quarterback, Josh Love, and what about their receivers? It looked like they kind of had their way with Army over the weekend.
Yeah, well, they did. The receivers, I thought they played really well. I thought Love played really well in that game, and I've thought that since I had a chance to meet him in the summer. I think he's a very good player. He's shown that this season, showed it in the last game against a good defense. We know that Army has a good defense, and they played well in the past, and those receivers were doing, you know, kind of what they wanted to in that game. There was wide open guys and opportunities for the quarterback, and they made some great catches. The one player, I can't remember his name, receiver, made a great catch in the end zone, kind of battling for the ball, was on his knees. I think that was one of the highlights. But yeah, they had a good game plan for Army, and they went out there, they executed, they made the plays that they needed to make. They made some plays that were some one-on-one competitive plays where they won the battle in those situations. So pretty good game plan, and pretty well executed by their offense. And I got a chance to watch them, and you know, that's the challenge. You know, you go play on the road like that against a team like Army, those are the things that you got to pay attention to and make sure that you're ready to defend, and that's what we'll be working on all this week.
You guys are so used to playing night games, but I'm going to ask you to step into the time machine. 2004, you were on the staff. You played at San Jose State.
9 in the morning?
9 in the morning.
Oh, yeah. Remember that.
I want you to tell me a little bit, if you have, you know, what you remember about that game and stuff. And, you know, I mean, you guys have played early kicks, but obviously nothing like that one.
Dogfight game. Yeah, we thought we were actually excited about playing early in that game, because guys, I think every player is like, let's just get up and go. But I think you're getting up at like 4:30 in the morning, pre-games at 5 or something like that. I mean, it was ridiculous. And both teams, it was very sluggish. It was just a very sluggish game, back and forth. We had some package in that game plan. It was like a no-huddle package that it didn't work. We tried it a couple times, and just one of those games. But we hung in there long enough, the end of the game, so we block a field goal at the end of the game. And so special teams comes up huge, and you know, that was one of those, like, that's when you walk off the field and you're like, all right, because you have no idea right after that game what just happened and how we played. And we went back, and you know, we learned quite a bit from that game about our team, and really, you know, just our approach into that game. So yeah, I remember. I don't think we had much injuries in that one. We didn't limp into that game at all. We just didn't play well. We just played good enough at the end, and they did. And they're on, you know, again, on the road, right? You got to go on the road and play teams, and they had some mojo, I think, in the second half of that game, and we finally just hung in there long enough and got it done.